So this Sunday, this pastor, Ruben Ramsaran, I've never heard him speak, and he gave this one message. I'm sitting there with the kids, and I think every father needs to hear this message. Every father. Go ahead and play this clip.
Your ceiling as a dad.
No, back up. Pause it.
I've been just thinking and ruminating about.
Here we go. That's it right there. Go ahead.
About this idea or this concept, and the idea is this, is that your ceiling as a dad will one day become the very floor for your kids. Your ceiling as a dad will one day become the floor that your kids stand on. What does that mean? All of the things that you accomplish, all of the things that you become really good at, all of the things that you still struggle with will be the very foundation that your kids stand on. So of course, we're gonna give good things to our kids one day, but they will also inherit some of our bad habits. They'll also inherit some of our bad thinking. Because
I remember this. Brother, he prayed for me once. There was a part of the mass where, like, if anybody needs prayers, come up there, and he put his hand on my shoulder and he prayed for me. This guy's awesome.
Ceiling floor. Fathers listening, the example we set today, one day is going to be their standard floor to live on. Good, bad, ugly, lazy, passive, the way we treat our spouse, our kids, people we work with, friends, everybody. They're going to watch to see how you and I are, and one day that'll be the standard they'll raise up. I'm a byproduct of this. My dad set the ceiling. The most annoying thing my dad ever did with me. That was the best thing he ever did with me. You ready for this? I've never met a man in my life who's done this. Never. When I tell you I've never met a man, Vinny, I've never met a man in my life that's done this. Last year, first week of this year, we were having this meeting, and I'm telling everybody about the values and principles, our BHAGs, everything at the Valuetainment Group. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, one of the 12 principles we talked about was the what? Do your best to be part of the one club. Mm-hmm. And what's the one club? You only need to be told once, and you do it. The job gets done. We have a lot of 7s. We have a lot of 5s. We have a lot of 3s. We have a lot of 2s. Every great organization is ran by a very, 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 very small percentage of people that are part of the one club. What is the most annoying thing about my dad? My dad's never said anything that he was going to do that I had to remind him of. Did you hear what I just said?
Never.
Vinny Maracatu Chagalelevia. Well, not one time. Not one time. He has never, ever said he's going to do something for me that I had to remind him of. How the hell do you do that? First of all, that's the ceiling. He went and he became my floor. So guess what was our culture in the insurance company we ran? If we made a promise, we're doing it.
Yep.
If we said we're doing this, we're doing it. Now, if we said we made a promise and a guy does criminal activity, you changed it. We didn't do that. Yeah. Then we have to change it. If you did fraudulent stuff or compliance stuff and you're trying kind of making, that's a different story. But that was what? That was the example he set. And then here you are, a kid, that you're him, and he says, you said you're going to do it. How come you haven't done it yet? It was the most annoying thing he would tell you. How many times do I have to ask you? Mm-hmm. That's a common phrase. Because he was teaching to be part of the one club, right? I can tell you 50 different things. But I saw this message on Sunday, and all I thought about the guy sitting next to me with the grandkids and everybody is my dad. The fact that he set that example for others. Fathers, you are so important, I can't even describe it to you. The other day, Tom and I were having lunch with a couple people. Not even the other day. Yesterday, we're having lunch at the house. I think yesterday or 2 days ago. I think 2 days ago, we're having lunch at the house. It's me, you, RJ, and another fella. And I said, you know, Tom's one of the best dads I've met in my life as well. We can be anywhere in the world. He's calling his girls to pray with him before he goes to sleep. He calls and has a conversation with them individually. Vinny, he's never missed a mark. It doesn't matter where we are. He's never forgot to make that call, ever. I have. He never. Tom has never forgotten to make the call to call his girls. Say, how was your day? What happens? Let's pray. Goes to sleep. That is an example he's setting for his girls to follow, that maybe one day when you're looking for a man, I would like you to aspire to want to have a man that treats your kids the way I'm treating you one day. His girls, for the rest of their lives, are going to look for a man that has a standard like that, right? Tom, what are your thoughts about this whole message the pastor gave about ceiling and floor?
He's absolutely correct. And it doesn't matter where you are, you can reset tomorrow's floor with today's ceiling. You can reset it. There are tremendous stories out there and biographies that I've read of historical people, but I think the current ones are really inspiring to me. Warwick Dunn's story is inspiring to me, about, his grandmother and the things that were there and how he rebuilt what was going to be the ceiling of his life from a really tough floor from where he came from. And this is true, but it takes two things: intention and discipline. You have to be intentional about what you do every day. It doesn't just happen. It's not luck. You have to be very intentional what you're going to do, and you have to have the discipline to keep doing it. It's the same things that go with the diet, that goes with exercise, it goes with personal habits. You got to be intentional about it and then have discipline about it. But this guy's right. And I encourage everybody can we put the link in the comments and people can go watch the whole message from this guy? I think it is one of the most apropos Father's Day messages that you could hit. But I would say this way, it's a great father's vision message for every day.
Yeah. Sometimes when you give this message, people will say, well, that's why I'm who I am. I didn't have a good example. Okay, and that's also the flip side of the coin.
That's the excuse to keep standing on a broken floor.
That's right. You're like, well, that's why I'm doing, because I didn't have the father you had, or I didn't have the mother you had. There's a lot of other things I can say about our family that I'm not going to get into. I'm giving you the good of my dad is what I'm talking, because I want to applaud this man because he's changed my life. We all have different issues, but I think at the end of the day, it also eventually at one point, if you're saying, well, I didn't have that, well, you become that. You become the new standard to set for many, many years to come. Years ago, I read a book called 10 Generational Curses. And I don't even like that phrase, generational curses. But I read this book, and it talked about how, adultery gets taught. Okay. What was the other ones? Gambling, taught. Then it was alcohol. Being an alcoholic is a curse that passes down. Everybody's an alcoholic. And, small thinking, financial issues. That's the other one right there. That was the bottom right one. The 10 curses that block the blessing. That was the book I read a long time ago. When did that be? 2006. So 20 years ago, 18 years ago, that book came out. So it was interesting to see it. But for a lot of people who go through this challenge, you don't also want to be the person. Like, I grew up from a very poor family. It's like, I grew up poor. That's why I'm poor. No, you need to also make a decision for yourself to want to be a leader one day, if you consider yourself to be a leader. All right. So anyways, I saw that this Sunday. I've never short anything from our church service on Sunday. I was inspired
that was
to show
your
that.
church.
One of my favorite holidays of the year is around the corner, 4th of July. And we've been working on this merch drop for a while. A lot of you have been asking about, Pat, I want a USA flag. I want an American flag. I want something with valuetainment that's the American flag to represent for 4th of July. And at the same time, I want there to say Future Looks Bright. I want it to be VT gear. Can we get some? So today, we're giving it to you to purchase so you can wear this gear during 4th of July, which is, a week and a half away. So if you order, these are limited supplies. So let me tell you what we got here. We got this valuetainment hat with the American flag and Future Looks Bright on the side, which is here for you to order. We got this other one, the navy blue with the red valuetainment logo, Future Looks Bright, and American flag on the side. And this is so far right now Vinny's favorite. This is Chris's favorite, and this is Tom's favorite. For golfers, Tom likes this one. But this one right here says USA. This is, I think it's a USA for those who love America, flag on the side. Future Looks Bright here. And then we got these shirts here as well. Okay, if you look at the screen there with the material, you got to feel the material, incredible material. Valuetainment with the U.S. flag. If you're somebody that loves America and you love valuetainment, you love the representation that we have on what we talk about, and you want to walk around, because nowadays people are stopping each other. People are stopping each other, say, you're a valuetainer, I'm also a valuetainer. I watch this, I watch that. And you're kind of finding, it's almost like you know what it's like? You know how back in the days, there were certain tattoos people had to be able to know You're also part of that community. I am as well. There's certain gangs and communities that had this for a long time. This is one way where you see somebody with a vitamin hat, you don't have to say anything to the other person. You know what they stand for, and they know what you stand for. And it's a very unique connection that takes place. And I get these DMs all the time and Manex all the time and messages all the time. So limited supply. The last time we did the green hat, people are like, oh, it's not going to sell out, sold out within 90 minutes. This is limited supply. So go place your order. That's the QR code, VTmerch.com. Again, go to VTmerch.com, place your order for 4th of July gear. Now, anybody places an order over 300, I think we have 10 more seats left to be with us to watch the debate on June 27th. So place an order over 300. You'll be invited to be with us and a friend at our club, 5990 Live Cigars, conversations, all that stuff. We'll watch a debate June 27th. I think it's going to be from 8:30 to like 11 o'clock at night. We'll be together.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.